everybody.
Hello.
Why we ask Zhu Pong? Why Abu Gyogwa Apong? My parents call me Apong. My name is Zhu Pong, but Zhu in Hokkien just means light. So don't call me Zhu. If you drop anything, drop that part, and Pong is the important part of my name. I have a kind of different story to tell about Larry and about my relationship with Earthlands. I think it was about 15 years ago or so when I was at a sustainability festival in Rhode Island. And how I met Larry was I was tabling for Goddard College at the sustainability festival, and Larry came walking towards me and said he thought that Goddard College and Earthlands would make a good partnership. And just a heads up, I often think of myself as like the irritant in the movement, like the mosquito. And I'm also irritated by a lot in different movements that I'm part of. So when Larry first approached me that time, many years ago, you know, I listened, I took the flyer, the handouts, and I thought, this keeps going down, so I'm just going to hold it. And then I kind of looked into Earthlands some more, and I was irritated. I was irritated because I was born in Taiwan. I'm a person of, you can hear, right?
Yeah.
It's fine. And I can hold it. It's just fine. I think this is an exercise in Qigong. Which is one of the things that has been an irritant all my life. The traditions of my people, the sacred practices of my people have been turned into this mindfulness industry, mindfulness. And I saw Earthlands as part of that. You know, this movement of white people, white settlers, taking from indigenous people, taking their cultures, taking from my people, our ancient knowledges, and not acknowledging the roots of those traditions. So first off, I want to acknowledge that there's a lot of, probably every one of you has benefited from the ancient knowledges of indigenous people and East Asian people and African people. So that was the day after I got home, and you know, I think this was pre-Google, but I did some research and I looked up Earthlands, and I didn't have a good feeling, so I stayed away. And then I moved to this area, Western Mass, 6 or 7 years ago, and Larry's name kind of kept popping up. And then, I think it was 2 years ago, at the Pekumtuk Homelands Festival, I was leaving, I was going to the parking lot with a student of mine, actually, friend and student, and we had just been kind of talking about all these issues of cultural appropriation and indigenous, working with indigenous communities. And I got to the parking lot, and this flyer came out of the trunk of a car and landed at my toes. And it was the Earthlands flyer. So I kind of couldn't help but go over and say, hey, I think we've met, you know, many years ago. And that was the beginning of Larry and I starting to work together, and you know, like I gave up some of that irritation, and no, I don't want to say that. I didn't give it up. I actually kept saying this to Larry. I kept saying, my vision of Earthlands is, in the future, there will be a lot more indigenous people here. In the future, there will be a lot more black and brown people here. In the future, there will be many of my East Asian brothers and sisters and kinfolk here. And Larry kept listening. Larry heard me and keeps hearing me and keeps saying, this is important stuff to say. It's uncomfortable, but that's the work, the work of undoing settler colonialism and colonialism of every kind, undoing white supremacy. That is the hard work that takes heart and love. And in my pocket right here, I'm going to hold this stone, grandfather stone, that was gifted to me by grandfather Joseph Davis at a medicine wheel ceremony at an amazing convening at Woolman Hill this spring. I think it was just a few months ago. And this is the stone of the heart, love. It wasn't the one that I was going for. I thought I was going for healing, but the one that called me was love. So I want to close by sharing with you a Qigong practice. Qigong is I'm reclaiming Qigong as my people's sacred practice and prayer, and it's also energy work, but fundamentally for me it's prayer. And it's taken me all my life to be able to practice this and feel authentic and feel like it's mine. And I share it with you with generosity because I'm no longer afraid that it's going to be taken away from me. So I invite you to join me with your hands, if you'd like, hands in front of your heart. And just feel the yang energy from the sky showering down on all of us. The yin energy from the earth rising up through your feet, mixing together, your organs, your kidneys, your heart. And then we're going to make 2 spirals. Each arm is going to spiral in a different direction. So first we slide the left hand down, right hand up, reaching for the sky, reaching for the earth. And then spin your arms in opposite directions. A little bit like rubbing your belly and, tapping your head. And then bring your hands together in front of your heart. Now the opposite direction, left hand up, right hand down. Reach for sky, earth. Send that good chi around our community. And then draw the opposite energies together in front of your heart. One more time. Left hand down, right hand up. Reach for sky, earth, around the universe. Sending our good chi around the universe. And then draw it together in front of your heart and send it into yourself, into your heart. Dosha. That's how you say thank you in Hopi.
Bras Nostris. Yeah, Council of All Beings. I was Bras Nostris. Can I get a show of hands who was here when I walked into Earthland with my flag? I walked on the interfaith pilgrimage of the Middle Passage. And I walked on many pilgrimages with Napanzan Miahoji, going to prison walks and sacred grounds of indigenous grounds where they were burying uranium and things like that, offering prayer at the School of Americas, standing outside of School of Americas. So I have spent several years walking the earth and getting that information coming up through my feet. Some of us pray like this. we who walk, we pray with our feet. And we were talking about walking upwards to 25 miles a day, every 3 miles stopping for a break, and having a lunch break, or stopping for a 15-minute break, and then having a 1 hour lunch break. And then, so you're talking about walking like 8 hours, you know, to do 24, 25 miles. And I got a whole lot of the earth coming through me. Now, as a child, I'm urban. I grew up in the city all my life, and so I was being sent images of the furniture that I would have. You know, these logs and stuff in my. You know, I was being sent those images back then, but it wasn't until, you know, I had walked through Japan and staying in some of those houses in Japan where the house has a tree coming in the center of the living room. They have tree houses. And I'm a tree person. I think my one ambition is to end up in a tree house. That'd be success for me, you know. And so coming back from Japan and walking through Okinawa, I heard about a place. Have you heard of Earthlands? I was at the Peace Pavilion when it was posed to me. Have you heard of a place called Earthland? Because my mission is called One People, One Earth. One People, One Earth. When you hear me say that, you think I'm talking about you people. The council of all people, one people, one earth. So we're talking about tree people, we're talking about squirrel people, we're talking about cow people, we're talking about people, we're talking about insect people, we're talking about everything has the right to live. One people, one earth. That is my earth walk. That was my earth walk. And the thought that I carried in that earth walk was the earth is my home and humanity is my family. And I didn't have to hold a cardboard box and say, I didn't eat today, I'm hungry. I just walked. I just walked until someone offered me a ride. I camped out until someone offered me a place to stay. I fasted until someone offered me food. I depended on divine providence to provide for me. Because if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, you are going to make sure that I have what I need. I can talk to my God like that. I don't know how you talk to yours, but hey, this is a trust. You're entrusting me with the earth. And I expect you to come through with your end of the bargain if I'm going to be doing this work. Because don't nobody trust that. My family didn't trust it. What? Walking the earth? What happened to theater? You were going to be an actor. You were going to be... Well, this is the theater. The theater of the earth. This is the theater of the earth. The theater of self. Right? The theater of self. But what happened? Your dream to go to Hollywood and go to Broadway? I was a triple threat, you know. Yeah, I'm doing all that, walking the earth. I don't believe you. I don't, family, friends, all of them, I don't want to have nothing to do with that. You know, I don't understand it. And so I had to go with who was sent to me. I made new family everywhere I went. And I had to be careful. I want to thank Brad Tyson, because Brad, when I first came into Earthland, and we was in the first workshop, and I was sharing my story, and Brad, who can see through walls like Superman, he could tell. He said, "Brother North Star, I believe you are authentic." I don't care if he believe that, but it's something that, I mean, when you got family and friends that you know, that don't support what you're doing, and then someone says that we believe that you're a true peace pilgrim. You know, so a peace pilgrim does that. Walk until someone offers a ride, camps out till someone offers a place to stay, and fast till someone offers sleep. I'm not the peace pilgrim. The peace pilgrim walked with one outfit and a toothbrush. She was a bad mama jamma. She was a bad mama jamma, you know, and she gave up her house and her car and her middle class life, you know. I just gave up. I didn't want to work for these idiots. All I knew was I didn't want to work for them. And I said, I'll work for you, but you got to take care of me. Yeah, I mean, I just, that was my only thing. And I'm going to look good doing it. I'm not going to walk with one outfit. Oh, I had a backpack on me. I bless you. God bless you, Peace Pilgrim. You made the way. Her and Sojourner Truth. They made the way to do that, but no, I'm not. I'm too vain. I'm a vain monk. You know, you can see, you know, and so I continue to live like that. And I walked into Earthland with that flag, as y'all saw me, and the land coming down Palacin Road, the land just opened up because I was walking. I walked from the Peace to go to the Earthland, and I came down that 202 at my meandering at my own pace. I didn't care how long it take me to get there. But when I heard about it, I said I've got to walk to that place because my job was to walk in honor of all the people, places, and things that are working for the evolution of this planet and humanity. All the people, places, and things. And Earthland was that journey. And when I took that walk, and I walked across there, I happened to show up on a day. What day was that? Y'all were having some festivity.
Earth Story.
Earth Story. Thank you. And what year was that? Yeah, I got you there, right? But I came in with a One People, One Earth flag that was made for me, specifically for me. And the land greeted me first as I was coming down Palacin Road, and then when I came across the Earthland people, the Earthland community, I was home.
Yeah, baby.
I was home. Huh? Yeah, I was home. Yeah, so let's get this indigenous. I'm an indigenous man, and I'm working with my nation and people who are working to get paperwork to the United Nations. Think what you may about the United Nations, but they did create international law, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. All the nations recognize that. There were some holdouts, Canada, United States, Australia, and some other place. They were holdouts, but now they all signed it. So that is a contract all over the world. All the nations are for this new paradigm that we're shifting into, where all humans have the right to equal rights. Equal rights. No more civil rights. Equal rights. So my nation is using that treaty that we have. We have a treaty of 1787, 1786, 1787, and 1836. We got this Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Then we got the Treaty of Madrid, and then we got the Treaty of Algeciras, 1906, that holds the United States, the USA, and the United States corporation to a contract that they got to behave themselves about the air, the earth, and all that kind of stuff. That's another story, but that's what we're working on at this particular time. Things are going to change. We are in a new paradigm. This is what it looks like. All right? So, anyway, thank you.
All right.
Yeah. So, after that, being embraced by Earthland, and then Dr. Larry H. Buell, who doesn't even care about that. He's a little boy. He's a little boy. Larry is simple enough for him. He's Dr. Larry H. View, but that doesn't mean dilly squat to him. He is just a beautiful person. He's not riding on that ego trip. Well, I'm Dr. Larry View, and you can't tell. He listens to everybody. He listens to everything. He accepts. He takes in all the information, and he's got frantic energy, frenetic energy that can light up a whole house. It could be electricity that can light up a whole neighborhood. That energy, that frenetic energy he got, but it's coming from a very good heart place, and I trust it. I trust it. So I'm not walking the earth as much. The pandemic came. So what does a peace pilgrim do when no cars are stopped for you because they're scared? Nobody's going to invite you into their house because the pandemic. What do you do then? The mind shifts. The mind shifts into, well, I'm looking for who's looking for me. I want who wants me. I'm related to who's related to me. I'm not looking at skin complexion. I'm looking at hearts. I'm looking at hearts now. I'm looking at who knows what time that we're living in today. This paradigm shift, this great awakening that we're coming across and what it looks like. And who's gonna call me? Where somehow I kept my phone going or kept my phone on and I was getting calls. Come over here, we can use you over here. I'm looking for who's looking for me. Well, I'm in Sacramento for 2 years. I'm being of service to a community there called Whole Family. And then Larry calls me to talk to me about, come on back home, come back to Massachusetts and come tell your story. You've walked long enough, you've been out there long enough, it's time to come back and tell your story. Write your book. I got a place for you to provide for you. You could this is what you're about to do, and you're going to be a mentor. We've got a program with the beautiful Artemis, the philanthropist Artemis. We got Japan over here. I mean, we've got something now new, taking it in a new direction. And to be able to bring the University of the Wild, to be able to create Weechee Village, where people all over the world can go. They don't have to go shopping no more. They can just go from their garden to their kitchen table, a part of the Great Awakening. And so I said, yeah, I'm down for that. What I was doing in Sacramento was good stuff, but this was more of a divine calling. Come do what you do, be who you are, give what you give. One people, one earth. Be a mentor, just being yourself. Well, right? So I am here to do that. My indigenous inclinations, Larry supports that. He has nothing to do, with me doing what I'm doing with that work, but that's all a part of my story that I'm here to tell. And he's given me the space and the time to do that and to work with other beautiful minds in creating a better world. And Sky Otter, I'm going to give you credit, Sky Otter, who y'all know is Bill Pfeiffer. Bill! Hey, Bill! Sky Otter. Because I go through the same thing. I'm birth name Gregory Dean Smith. You think my family gonna call me Brother North Star, the medicine walker? Gregory! You'll never be Brother North Star. So expect that, Sky Otter. You are Sky Otter. You've grown into a better version like I have. We've created another version of ourselves. We're in a whole new paradigm. And so, if you will, if you know him as Bill, give him Sky Island. And I'm Brother North Star, the Medicine Walker. So I gotta say that I know that when Larry walks by a tree, it shivers. They got their own funeral parlor.
Okay, so music has always been a part of our circles. And we have Ricardo Prota has come to us in direction from Brazil. He plays his trees. He has brought some friends. And now we're going to have a little...
Larry,
Yes.
what about your wife? May I say also something?
Yes, Katja. I'm sorry. Yes, yes.
Because Katja holds the mirror up. So Katja sees things. Katja is also the mama bear that watches out over Larry and tells him when it's enough. And Katja is also there to hold a vision with Larry.
Yes.
Even when he many times feels that I don't. But because I'm looking here at truth, I'm looking at what's going to work, and keep looking at how we keep this amazing man alive. And I love you dearly. And sometimes he forgets. So yeah, he always has to go by me. There's no low-flying helicopters over my head. I notice everything, I find everything out, I see Larry's little things, and I see him also this incredible passion, because there was a time there that he was talking about his vision, and there was a rough time actually between this beautiful group fell apart, and Larry tried to set up this new, how are you going on to create this University of the Wild here. And the people, it's like if you don't talk about your vision, then people cannot align to it. And so people say, what is your vision? What is your vision? And Larry became so protective of his vision because the people that he gathered were not the right people to share it with. But I put him on the spot. It's like, from now on, Larry, I put him on the spot in the circle. It's like, talk about your vision. And Larry, because he hadn't rehearsed, stumbling through it. And it's like, you cannot make your vision manifest unless you start rehearsing it, saying it, and deal with the feedback and make it bigger. It's like you draw people around it. So this book is the big opportunity here, what he's about to write, and I work in the process of writing, that can reach out much further. It's like you've anchored a very beautiful vision here. You are an amazing steward of land. It's like your sense of beauty of the land is really beautiful. And there's still a lot to learn there. I think he brought me in there because I'm the living, walking University of the Wild. You go on our land and everything is wild, and I get to know everything intimately, and I feel very grateful that Larry has given me that opportunity to do so, and being supportive of that and listening to me. It's like when I say, oh my God, you read wax things, and it's like, oh, these little things that I adored and loved, suddenly they're smashed again, and that's the ongoing journey to teach Larry, well, I'm the rock, I'm the grounding, he gives me wings, and I ground him. And so to have him see what's underneath his feet and what he steps upon and what trail he leaves behind while he's having this big vision. And so now living also with Ricardo, and our energies are very different. I'm an earth person, I'm very steady, determined, grounded. Larry is the wind, and it whirls things up. It's like it messes with the earth, the structure, which can be good, and at times it's a little aggravating. And then we have Ricardo, he's the fire, and it burns fast, and it burns up, and it's like you just watch these energies and on how uniquely different we are and what they bring to our world and our little community. And I'm grateful because Larry has this amazing personality, such beauty in him, and such enthusiasm about life, and always seeing the greater things in people and bringing it out in them. And so to just listen to the constant stories that how many students have been touched by him, and it's like ongoing meetings, and he's the big community person that connects with everybody, and I'm just on the earth, listening to the earth. What is the earth telling me where I need to go? And that's where I am. So I'm not off the farm very much, but I'm doing the support work behind, so to make sure that he get food and taken care of, and that his health is good. And he stays alive. I'm doing a lot there to make him stay alive, and he's having amazing results. He goes to the doctors, and yes, the little things there, but then he has no medications, and his health gets better, and his blood count was better, and hemoglobin was better, and everything we're doing here is better. It's like, okay.
Thank you, Katja. And Katja has said to me, Larry, don't have that circle. Don't do that. Write your book. My answer to her, I'm writing the book. This is my research, Katja.
I did not say that don't do the circle. I just said don't start a community here when you haven't written your book. It's like bring the people in through the book and not put the cart in front of the horse.
Okay.